Good evening. I'd like to bring this meeting to order for the Town of Pownal Select Board. Tonight is Thursday, July 6th. The agenda is as follows. We'll have approval of minutes, warrants, administrative assistance report, road foreman's monthly board meeting, the road report, Burrington Road paving, talking about classifying roads, new business, Barbara Burdick will be here, landscaping, assistant town clerk, discussion, pay raises, and old business town administrator discussion, job description. Motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approval of minutes from 6/29/17.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Warrants. Payroll ending in the total amount of $9,953. Payroll ending in the amount of $1,000. Accounts payable, a total of $41,000. And this last one was there was a motion last week to table to this week, and I suggest, because we don't have a full board tonight, we table it again until next week.
Usually on accounts payable,
Yep.
Jason, just read the big ones.
The large
I
ones
just,
are,
Jason,
Yeah.
just for the record, I just want to verify the numbers. The payroll for 7/2 is $7,193.39.
okay, correct, correct, I had wrong.
Payroll ending 7/3, $923.50. Accounts payable number 1, $41,790.
Okay, correct. On the accounts payable, some of the large ones were, let's see here. County tax, County of Bennington, $8,565. Leagues of Cities and Towns, dues, $5,000. Those are large ones. Kelson Electric, I believe that was wastewater plant. It's $2,500. Testing at the dump, $2,600. Most of the large ones here. IRS was $2,500 also.
Looks like we didn't sign all of that one. Not all of us signed it. I don't know why.
The electrical work was done at the transfer station.
I make a motion to approve the warrants.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Administrative assistance report.
Followed up with the road foreman on the cost estimate to finish the blacktop on Barrington Road. We'll be discussing that later on. Worked with Darcy on the treatment plant budget adjustments and followed up on her site visit regarding the cabin connections on Route 346. We'll be addressing the property owner's concern at the August 24th sewer meeting. The year-end sewer transfer process to the delinquent tax collector was completed on Wednesday. We're still running about 11% uncollected funds. which has been pretty much standard, 10% uncollected. Met with Chuck Watson on the telephone upgrade at the town office. Chuck will attend an August meeting to discuss the options and costs. It's looking right now that the estimated cost for the telephone upgrade is approximately $4,000. I'd like to bring to the board's attention that the office is in need of a new copier, and maybe we should think about leasing one rather than purchasing. The problem that we're having now is the service contract's expired on it, the machine is older, and it's getting quite costly to repair. And when it goes down, it causes a big problem in the office. In my opinion right now, because they're very expensive, the need for the copier, in my opinion, outweighs the telephone. It depends on how our budget is. It might be something you might
Who
want to
usually
think about.
checks into things like that for us? Does Watson check into the copiers too, or no?
No, usually, I've already spoken with the sales rep. There's a lot of reps that come to the office. The current company that does our servicing right now, the last time they serviced it, they advised us that it was probably a better idea to enter into a lease agreement. They would come and they fix anything anytime that it's needed. And right now, we have one color copier for the office, which actually is in the listers department. It's getting heavily used, and it might be worthwhile to look into getting one that can also have the color capability there. So, you know, if you want to check on it, want us to check on it, we will.
I think it should be researched to see
Mhm.
whether.
Sure.
Do we deal with SimQuest, or who do we deal with?
I don't know exactly the name of the company. I know they're from Pittsfield.
Okay, because there's a SimQuest company that we deal with too, and we lease ours in
Do you
Bennington.
lease yours too? We could probably check with those.
And I know the color copiers are very expensive. We don't.
This one here is getting heavily used.
Yeah.
You would not believe it.
So
but
maybe you could get that information and have it for us in our next
Yeah, in your
meeting.
spare time.
I will,
Yes.
after vacation. Also worked with Jen Hawley on the new website. Followed up with DOT for the town overweight enforcement request. We're gonna hold a 911 public hearing in August to name a private road located on the Mass Line. It will, as in the past, be scheduled for 6:30 p.m. on a Thursday night prior to a select board meeting. It usually works the best because everybody's here. That's about all I have. July 13th meeting and July 20, if the board would like to let me know what they'd like to schedule. I want to remind everybody that I'm going to be on vacation starting on 17th, and I'll be back in the office on August 1. There's no sewer plant meeting this month. So that week there is a free week. So the 20th is the only board meeting that I will not be in attendance. You guys might want to think about what you want to do. And Jason, I understand you're going to be on vacation,
Next
so
week.
you won't be here.
It'll be next weekend.
Okay, so we can talk about that later. And that's what I have for tonight. Hi, Joel.
Hello.
I left you a copy of your agenda and your report over there if you need it.
Okay, I made a copy.
Okay.
One thing I didn't announce tonight is mail. We need to slide in here.
Yeah, I was just like, wow, I came up quick.
I'll miss it. First is a notice from Bennington County Regional Commission on their on a meeting Thursday, July 20th at BPI Building on Hartwood Hill. Starts at 5:30. Next, I have a letter from a resident, Walter Klinger, to Jim Sullivan, Director of Bennington County Regional Commission. This is in regards to emergency planning for cyber threats. Dear Jim, as the events for the past year have unfolded, it is clear we are living in a new age of cyber vulnerability. The organized attacks on computers held for ransom on global scale, as well as Russian hacks and attempted manipulation of the U.S. national elections in 2016 should be a clear warning of to us of things to come. Previous BCRC emergency planning efforts have focused on natural disasters, common hazards, transportation, hazmat spills, and fires. In the new age of cyber threats, I believe the BCRC should begin to evaluate the potential for short and long-range societal chaos that might ensue if region-wide, long-duration cyber calamity occurs. BCRC should subsequently develop community-wide and local contingencies to deal with these problems when they occur. Cyber emergency contingency plans should be tested and incorporated into town emergency plans. Preliminary threat analysis and planning might include evaluating the following: which computer networks are critical for daily functions of life, power grid, communications, medical care, commerce, etc. in Vermont. Who controls the computer networks and how are they presently protected? What's the likelihood that a critical network could be taken down and disabled for days, weeks, or longer? What is potential backup to emergency communication loss? How long would it take before some people would run out of food, gasoline, and fuel? So he lists a number of things here. And it ends in saying, we live in both remarkable and perilous times. While technology has made some things more convenient, it has also made us more interdependent. I hope the BCRC has an effort to address this problem and may lead the way to stay afloat when data ship hits the iceberg. Sincerely, Walter Kleiner.
Walter, I just want to remind you, Walter is Pownal's BCRC delegate.
Yes.
He represents us, and the BCRC has already been hacked.
I notice also in some correspondence with our insurance company with loss prevention, they mentioned some training now for our office staff on computers to prevent issues.
We work pretty closely with Chuck, who's always monitoring our computers with the antivirus package that he puts on. He gets an automatic alert when something goes wrong.
Okay. Next we have, we had a letter of concern from a gentleman, a resident in Pownal, and basically it's concerns for the empowerment meeting we had a couple weeks ago. It's a long letter, it's 4 pages, I'm not going to read it, but here's a reply to his concerns. Empower Pownal is a community-led series of meetings being facilitated by the Vermont Council on Rural Development, VCRC, they're also known by. The Pownal Select Board voted to approve this process to encourage more civic participation in the areas that support the Pownal Town Plan, particularly energy efficiency, economic development, and community recreation. Members of the Planning Commission and Select Board joined the initial Empower Pownal Steering Committee, but activities will be led by volunteer committees and not town officials. Everyone in town is invited to participate. Dot voting at the Empower Pownal July 25th meeting is a non-binding vote that would use town resources. It is a way for participants to set priorities for the project. The Empower Pownal initiatives will not raise local property or business taxes. One of the program's goals is to help residents save money on their utility bills through energy efficiency programs. Any small business development that comes out of this project will also add to the tax base and benefit the town. Smart growth refers to encouraging development in the village centers that already have town water and sewer. Recreation ideas will be inclusive of all of the members of the Pownal community, and participation will be voluntary. If you have any further questions or concerns about the Empower Pownal process, please contact John Copens, the Program Director of the Climate Economy Model Communities Program at VCRC. Mr. Copens' email is john@vtrural.org, and his phone number is 802-225-6593. Also, please contact State Representative Bill Botsow with your questions regarding state directives for climate change. And this was from Mike Slattery, Chairman of the Pownal Planning Commission. Along with that, we have some more correspondence, all on energy in our planning commission. This is a letter from the state, and I'll go over it. This was some issues that were brought up, and Bill Botso addressed them. So here is a reply to them. Good evening, Representative Botso. My apologies for the delay in getting back to you regarding the constituent inquiry you are responding to. The department issued a certificate of compliance today for Bennington County Regional Energy Plan. Attached to that certificate is a document that records the process the department followed in executing in the requirements, and it states the laws here, as well as a report on public comments the department received. At pages 5 through 6, you will find a discussion that is pertinent to this issue your constituent, Mrs. Dragon, has raised with you. At this passage makes clear the Public Service Board must exercise its discretion in applying the relevant legal rules in the event of a conflict between a regional plan and a town plan. This is in the essence that I was conveying to the public hearing in Bennington on May 31st. I realize the department's determination will be disappointing to Mrs. Dragon and others who very clearly and articulately advocated against this outcome. That said, I continue to urge these citizens to stay engaged by advocating for their views as the municipal energy planning level. Given the content of the Bennington County Regional Energy Plan, these citizens advocates have an opportunity to make a real difference by facilitating the formulation and adoption of a municipal plan that reflects their planning values and goals. In her email to you, Mrs. Dragon emphasizes her concern about what happens in the event of a conflict between a municipal plan and a regional plan. The statutory language I read out loud at the public hearing, and he lists the statutes, the laws, unambiguously state that with respect to an in-state electric generation facility, the board shall give substantial deference to the land conservation measures and specify policies contained in a duly adopted regional and municipal plan that has received an affirmative determination of energy compliance under the laws that are stated. The statute that Mr. Adler has pointed towards, section 434, is certainly topical, that it lays out a decisional framework for the board to follow in the event of a conflict. However, this framework does not provide predictive certainty as to how the board would resolve such a conflict. Rather, the ultimate outcome rests with how the board exercises its discretion in deciding a conflict with that framework. Mrs. Dragon's point, as I understand, is that there is nothing in law that now provides a path for municipalities to follow so that they can obtain a guarantee that their municipal plan will prevail in the event of a conflict between a regional and municipal plan that both have received compliance determination. As far as I can tell, this is correct understandings of an existing law. I hope these answers are helpful to you and your constituents. Kind regards. And this was from June Tierney. Any questions there? I would suggest that you deal with Bill Botso on those. Next on our mail here, we have the zoning administrator's log. This past month and a half, he received 11 applications. He verified 3 of them. 4 permits were granted, and 4 were forwarded to DRB. And that's what we have for mail this week. Next, we have our road foreman's monthly report. We have a roll tonight.
How are you guys tonight?
Good.
How are things with you?
Good. Busy, but good.
How did we fare with the storm the other night?
Not too bad. Not too bad. We had Skippery got the worst of it. Some on Mason Hill South in Tubbs a little bit. nothing. It never took any roads out. The roads are all intact. And so we've been pretty much filling alongside the roads for the last 3 days. We're pretty much caught up with that. We've been grading. We're about finished grading. We are finished, actually. Just going back over roads that washed from the storm. Roadside mowing still. We're on Skippery now. We did the easement for the wastewater treatment facility from Royal Pine Villa to Route 7. We mowed that and filled the sinkhole with gravel. Brought down a load for patching under the fence lines. We've been ditching, cutting brush on Cold Storage Road, getting that ready for the detour for the Mount Anthony project. We're going to next week draw some gravel. We just screened out some bank run gravel. We're going to draw that up to kind of smooth it up and make it pretty good. And we've been, of course, screening out some gravel. Next week, the Cold Storage Road. We're getting ready to start on the Man Hill South project, which is ditching and stone line ditching and stuff. Continued mowing, equipment maintenance, and still screening out some more gravel. We're about done with our made gravel. Got just a little bit left of that.
Do you have an update on the date for Mount Anthony Road project?
The tentative date for that is mid-August, is when he's planning on starting. The culvert just came out of the engineering phase, and they're modeling the clay, Ronnie, if you wanted to know, for the culvert.
Come in from Australia or what? Just curious.
So that's rolling along. I still haven't talked to him yet. He's gonna come down someday so we can sign the contracts. We still haven't done any of that. Blacktop, you had a question? Finishing up Burrington Road?
I think last week we had a bid to finish up Burrington Road and
Well, this is,
Estimate.
an estimate, yeah.
yeah, this is my figuring, about $40,500. There's 3,100 feet. Now,
Which is like a half a mile, right? Is that what that is?
a little over,
A
yeah,
little over half a mile.
yeah.
That completes the whole road then.
That'll
Right.
complete the whole road.
Just
Now-
seems like we should finish a project that we started, you
Uh-huh.
know? And the rest of the road looks great, and we got this one little section that,
And actually, I've had a lot of people lately ask me when we're gonna finish it. Just people walking
a
and
lot of people,
bicycling.
yeah.
So, here's the way it lays out. We put in 150 for blacktopping this year, 150,000. We're carrying over 85,797.72. Our bid is 187,075.20 to do what we figured on doing. Less 20,000 the state's kicking in for Jackson, so that's 167,075. If you add the $40,500 for that, we'll be around 207,575, and we have close to 150. We have 150, 85, and 20, so we got a little over 250. So we do have the money if that's what you want to do, if that's your pleasure.
And so if we did that, we could carry for next year.
About 40 or so, yeah. That would mean, though, maybe not going down as far as Skippery Road, which is only a short jaunt that Nelson wanted to do. I wanted to stop at Muir's originally, and he wanted to get down a little farther. But we'll see how that works out, too.
Well, I agree with finishing that project if it's something we started. I think a lot of people are using it for walking, for bicycling. I mean, there
They
seems to
do.
be a lot of concern. It seems like for years we've been talking about it, and I think that we made a substantial investment last year. I think we should kind of finish it and be completely done with it.
It's up to you guys. If you want to, we can do it.
I'll make a motion that we do it.
Should we charge a toll for the walkers and the bicyclers?
I
We
knew
can.
that was coming,
We can
yes.
put a toll booth on there.
Well, the thing is, I mean, other people, when they go down the main highways or whatever, they pay registrations and gas tax, all that stuff.
We could
But
put an
it's-
ice cream
you
shack
know,
over there.
Seriously
Not that
though,
I'm against recreation, you know.
No, no,
Knock
but
yourself out. Wear
it's
yourself
a
out
lot
when you
better.
don't.
The people walk up there and bicycle than it is on 346 or in Route 7 where people are trying to move. If you want to look at it that way, I guess.
Can
If
we get
anybody
the
drives over
bicyclers
it.
off of North Pownal Road if you fix that
Yeah,
up?
yeah.
So
I'll leave
we can
that.
go up and down that highway without having all the Williams College kids there?
I'll leave that up to you.
Well, just curious. I mean, you know, we're gonna fix up, they won't go up and down Route 7. You got a breakdown lane.
Yeah, yeah.
Bicyclers think they own the whole highway. They don't contribute nothing. They don't even have a registration on their bicycle.
So we have a motion on the floor. Need a
Second, yeah.
We
You
need a
didn't want to
second.
hear no more. We want to discuss it.
Second.
Well,
It's up
All
to
in
you
favor?
guys.
Aye.
Any discussion? We can finish the discussion.
The bicycles.
We're not gonna have anything left, right? Which
Did-
is good. We'll get rid of all our money.
No.
No,
No,
we'll have about
40,000
40,000 left.
That's if we stop at Muir's.
Yeah. That's only a short jump. It's
Well, what if we
from,
didn't stop at Muir's? What
it's
if we
from-
went as far as the Grand Poupon wanted to go? What would it cost us then? What would it be? Would you have anything left? No for
That
for the
wasn't
Winchesters for lunch or
that
what?
far. I can actually, let me measure that and, well, I did measure it at one time and I had it and I don't know what I did with the measurements.
Well, that's all
Because
right. The
the original-
consensus was if
That was-
we had too much money, that's why we couldn't get a grant. So there's no need of us having any money.
Well,
might
no,
as well
I don't
get rid
know.
of
You know, I did talk to people on that and I don't know if that's all that true or not. According to them, no. It's just kind of a percentage thing.
I can't believe it
you-
would be
you-
true, but that was
You get bumped up and down the
the
list and,
scuttlebutt. That's right. When there isn't much money to go around, well, there isn't much money.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all there is to it. Okay, we discussed it long enough. We can move on.
I was just looking if I had my notes here where I did measure that little bit. I can do that and get it back to you now on that.
So when are they looking at coming to town to pave?
I don't know.
Okay, we haven't
No
heard anything.
tentative date on that. No.
The other question I have on that, I think I mentioned to you, was when they're done paving, on some of these roads, we're gonna have to put some gravel down along the edges of the new blacktop.
Yeah.
Maybe we can try to get a rough idea of what we're gonna need, and if we need to buy some gravel, we may have to see if we can buy some gravel locally here, what we need to.
Yeah, or maybe some sure pack or something that's
Right.
gonna kind of bind in,
Right,
or some good crushed
okay,
fine gravel.
okay,
Yeah, that shoulder stuff is, they got that regular mix for that.
all right.
I
Yeah,
don't know how expensive it is.
It's
I
not
don't
cheap.
either.
No, it's
It's
not
not
very,
cheap.
it's very expensive.
I know, but if it stays twice as long,
Right.
I
Maybe you
know.
could look into it and just try, kind of get a rough idea what we're gonna, how
Yeah,
we're gonna get it. How we're
yes,
gonna
we
get
can.
it. Okay.
Another thing. Now, Stanley, we talked about having him do some painting and stuff, and he came and saw me the other day, and he can start. So we kind of talked, and you were going to do some on the church, and you weren't going to do some on the church. If you want, he can definitely paint the shop in the salt shed. That's direly needs
Is
it.
that all good and solid? That's all, you know?
Yeah,
The
the
shop?
Paint,
T111.
that's the
No,
reason
the
why they're
shop's
holding
pretty
back
good.
on this over
Yeah,
here.
I know.
You can't paint over nothing. That's my theory.
But
the
it's all
buildings
right.
out there are in pretty good shape, right? I mean,
Yeah.
maybe needs a paint, but
Needs some lights. Somebody was looking into that. Who was that? I forgot. Inside.
You're the guy that asked me if they had, about it, and I told you. I went to Granite City. And the guy told me everything they had qualified.
Everything, that's good.
Everything. Pick out what you want and come see me, he said. I said, well, okay, I'll talk to him. I don't know what you want.
Well, we met the guy from Efficiency Vermont, and we met the CEO of Green Mountain Power. They were here last weekend, and they both encouraged municipalities, businesses to go ahead and contact Efficiency Vermont and have them set up a meeting and have them come down and go, spend a couple hours, go right through the building and make some recommendations.
Yeah.
And then I would think we could come up with a list and maybe exception, maybe get some proposals from local electricians and see what the labor costs would be. And
They'll pay between 50 and 75%. Efficiency Vermont will.
right.
That's including installation.
Sure. So I think it's something we should definitely take advantage of. I know that there's definitely some savings to be had in electricity there. Like some of those
Yeah,
older
and
light fixtures.
yeah.
I notice it is fairly dark in there.
In their humming and
Yeah.
their
Yep.
ballasts are getting
Yep.
kind of weak.
They'll change the whole ballast.
Well, actually, though, you can buy the whole lights just as cheap or
Buy
cheaper
them cheaper than
than
Dallas.
than you can buy. Yeah,
Yes, you can.
the whole new
We did
fixture.
it the opposite. We changed all the ballast in the Legion. We had the guy come in and do it.
I think, if they're gonna come and look at it, I think it's important they look at the whole thing. The outside lighting too is some of those big floodlights out in front. I don't know what offhand what the monthly bill over there is, but last time we looked, it was pretty steep.
Yeah, well, they got some nice LED stuff now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not crazy about Efficiency Vermont, because all they're doing is charging me to put lights up for you. But as far as, I do know that when you go to the stores, you can get some nice, I
Yeah.
got some nice motion lights outside that light up the whole yard.
Yep.
LEDs.
Yep.
They run cheap.
Yep.
Rather than, I don't know where they're,
Well, that's what you'd have to go today anyhow. You can't.
Absolutely.
I think the
well, you don't
fluorescents
want
are
things like
obsolete.
this antique out here in front of the building.
Yeah, they're kind of obsolete.
So in your spare time, you'll be able to make a call
Sure,
to them
in
and
your
set
spare
up.
time, you take care of it.
Efficiency, yeah, I talked to the fellow once, he was real good about it. He told me just to get a price on them and put them in and send the bill to them, and they paid more on the more expensive lights, obviously, than they did. I don't know, what'd you say, around $70 a fixture, is that what you said, or were they cheaper than that? I forgot,
No, they
we
were less than
talked,
that.
we did talk,
But if they're
yeah.
gonna reimburse us 70%,
Well, between 50 and 75,
Okay.
depending on the price of them.
so I think it's worthwhile to take advantage of that.
Also, did you guys, I sent you a letter of intent last week for the $10,800 grant. Did you understand that?
I did.
We
Yeah,
signed it.
okay. You did?
And,
We signed
yeah,
it.
we did, yeah.
Yeah, no, I know, but
And you have a project in mind on that?
yeah, we can use it on any hydrologically connected road, which is, they're segmented, you have to go on the A&R website.
Right.
But it's basically any road that's within 100 feet of a waterway that dumps into a waterway,
So you do have a
So-
project in mind that we were gonna,
a few of them.
okay.
Good.
But you can use them for gravel, you can use it for culverts, you can use it, to replace culverts and all of that stuff. I talked to Jim Ryan, actually, from the DEC about it, and I talked to Jim Henderson about it. And also, if all the towns didn't sign up for it, then they'll redistribute the money they have left over. The legislature had extra money this year, so they put it into that project.
It's a
And
grant,
kind of a
right?
pilot, yeah,
Grant money.
but that you don't really have to, fight for, and it's what we're eligible for is
We'll take all the grant money we can get.
at this point. And like I say, we can, if all the towns didn't apply for it, and thankfully Nelson did, because a lot of the towns, the road foremans didn't even hear of it at the time. when they brought it up, because the selectmen never gave it to them. So it's a good thing you guys were on the ball on that one. We do have till October 1st. I was kind of iffy, Linda and I actually talked about it because we have so much going this year anyhow, but they'll extend it to June 30th to use the money if you don't get it done this year.
Good job.
So,
He's gonna try not to overextend himself when we get too many grants going and projects. That was our discussion.
yeah.
Yeah. Question, we were talking about cold storage road, and we do Mount Anthony. Is that properly signed right now?
Cold storage.
Yeah.
It was signed rough road, but both signs on each end disappeared.
Okay. I think once we start using it, well, actually,
We-
now that we're gonna do some work and upgrade, I think we need to make sure it's properly signed. There was a
Well-
concern.
We were gonna just sign it, narrow road for that section.
Okay. And that covers us.
Yep.
Okay.
Can you put usage your own risk on that road or not?
It is, I thought it was a class 4, and I kinda argued with Nelson about it, but it is a class 3 road,
Oh, okay.
so,
You can't put that then on a sign?
You
So
know,
if somebody uses it and does real
well,
damage,
like, I
Are we
think
liable?
in the winter time, we're pretty good because
You
we
close
close it.
right.
And then if something happens, people are kinda at their own risk. We have a hard time keeping the signs. They disappear.
if you get a chance, I took a ride last week, and if you get a chance, take a ride up through that road, and
I use
it's
it.
it's interesting.
I use it every week with a trailer. I don't have any problem with it.
I thought we might be able to do some more with it.
We
as
cut
far
it all
as
back, the brush.
widening, but there's a lot of exposed ledge.
Yeah, and that's a little bit of the problem, the outcropping of rocks and stuff is why the water kind of cuts down the road. This summer, if we do get time, I'd like to just rent a hammer for the excavator. We have Hidden Valley to do. We have up by the shop, there's a couple spots where the rocks come out, and it's right in the ditch line. And then maybe we could go up and just rent it for a week and see,
Yeah.
because it's all wired up for it. And see how that goes. Complaints I've had, something I haven't really looked into, people are starting to complain about the intersections, motorcycles, sand.
So what have we done this year as far as
Well, we're gonna just have to try sweeping them and take a backpack blower for now.
Okay.
But at some point, we should talk about getting a broom, or if you go to the auctions and you can, I haven't seen any rear mount brooms, of you in your travels?
No, I saw a couple of front mount ones. That's all.
There's a lot of them. I'm a dime a dozen.
Well, I never saw anything a dime a dozen. The auctions I go, it's more expensive than that.
The thing is,
Well, you told me they were cheap.
They are cheap, not a dime a dozen.
here's the other question: is how many are there actually that we need to do?
The roads?
No, intersections where there's sand issues, where a dirt road meets the.
Well, you basically have all your intersections. Most of them have blacktop aprons, and take your pick.
Probably the worst one is right at Dark Woods there,
Or the dirt road.
because that's kind of a pretty good turn, and it's a dirt road.
Okay.
Because I think you
Carpenter Hill,
can
yeah.
rent
Yeah.
just a simple walk behind, 4-foot walk
Sweeper,
behind
yeah.
sweeper. If we rented it for a day.
Pretty cheap.
Yeah, I would think.
We've been hand sweeping them, and
It's awful hard
It's
on the
work,
guy
though.
running it though. You eat a lot of dust.
yeah, and we all know you have to be careful about that today. Masks.
So I don't know if it's
all
worth,
that
I
stuff.
don't know if it's worth buying one ourselves, or is it worth, renting a machine
Yep.
once a year, or maybe looking to have someone,
Can't
maybe
you put it out for bid and
see
see
what
if somebody will just do
see
it?
what it would cost for someone to come in with a skid steer with a front mount.
The trouble is, like Cedar Hill, we did a couple times last year.
Yeah.
Then the people get on, you know, and they hit the dirt road and they have to spin and just throws it all right back out again.
Right.
But I think the intersections like Carpenter Hill's a big one, Hidden Valley's a big one. Where you are on Nile School, all of them, full military.
Okay.
Well, we should be, keeping our eyes open. If there's something comes up and it's a
Yeah,
deal,
good- yeah, good.
Maybe we could use it.
The
And also,
three-point
you could,
hedge.
you could see what the rental is. I mean, this year, we've had quite a lot of rain, so it's washed them off pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
But other years,
Yeah.
they have been, pretty nasty.
But Bruce is right, as far as the walk behind, it's kind of rough on a man.
Okay.
So
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know.
Oh, yeah, you eat a lot of dust with one of them.
Well, just a thought. Okay, well, if you look into that. Okay.
Better off to hand broom them. Really. I don't know.
We have a backpack blower too, right?
Yes, yes. We picked up at the transfer station and they've had it in there for years.
Okay.
Fixed it up and it runs good.
Very good.
Runs good. Any other questions or?
No. Okay.
We're good.
Joel, what do you want to do about scheduling a road tour with the board to look at some roads?
Oh, yeah, that's on there.
Have you had a chance to
I,
kind of review that list of roads?
yes, I have. And I do have it right here. You want me to read them out loud or?
I don't care. You're the road boss. Or else you can read us your suggestions, or we can go look at
Well,
it.
no.
I don't care how we do it,
You
but
got,
we did talk about it, and we should do something.
you got Lavino Road, Crow Hill Road.
How far does that go, Crow Hill?
It's not very far, just up in
Just
there. And
past
there's
Twiggy's driveway there?
well, a little farther than that. There's a turnaround up in there.
Yeah, not very far past.
Where, yeah, there's a gateway that goes
Yeah.
up on top there.
Yeah, I was just curious on that. I saw the gate up there, and I figured that was probably where we ended up.
You know, they had
How much of that is town road? Does that go right up
to
through?
I'm not sure, Ron.
Oh,
I always thought to the gate.
oh, to the gate, yeah.
That's what I always thought.
Joel, are these the roads that you're proposing that they go take a look at?
Renters, there's no house there. The loop.
That one, I mean, that's kind of, as far as I'm concerned, that's kind of self-explanatory. That was a road, and we agreed to maintain it back when they let us go straight instead of going through there. But they're all gone. There's no home there, nothing. His home is up above that. The people that, they put that new
Yeah.
modular in or whatever it is.
And was that before 7 went in and it went right down
No,
Bannister
they
Hill?
did that when Ladbrook, that was done a long time ago, when
Yeah.
they made that agreement.
It was the
'Cause it
original
used to-
Lad
That was the
Road.
original road.
Lad Road, yeah.
And
Yeah.
they said, well, I mean, some of these things have, it's benefited the people, plus it's benefited the town.
Mhm.
But it's of no use no more.
Right.
And I don't think them people even care, but I can't speak for them, I don't know.
We also had on the list Thompson Pond Road, which is a road from Old Military to Verdmont Gate.
That goes right from the corner to the gate. That's how far it goes. It's only
Well,
about
the Dummy Noble Road goes from there up over.
yeah, but we don't maintain that.
Well, we put water bars in it and stuff.
Oh, yeah, well, that's a class 4 though or something.
Yeah, yeah.
The other one though, we do go, what do we do with the, well, I mean, we plow that in the winter, don't we, up to that gate?
We do.
Or somewhere near?
Boy, it's tough.
What do we do with the
turning
snow
around.
when we get up there?
A lot of times he backs up and plows out. It's tough.
Oh, I was gonna say, 'cause
Especially if
that's,
they're logging, if they're up on that back road there.
Yeah, yeah,
which they have been the last couple of years.
yeah. Up on Dummy Noble.
Yeah.
Then the church, we was gonna wait on that. Mrs. Church's, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought that was, my opinion, I thought that was a lifetime agreement. And, you know, I mean, it wasn't a great agreement for the town, but it was a great, but they look at people negotiate agreements, and as far as I'm concerned,
In Bannister
It
Hill
doesn't-
Road, Sue wanted to discontinue, didn't you?
what's that?
He's just teasing me. That was my first meeting
Bannister
last
Hill?
year. Bannister Hill. You got the rescue squad
Bruce
at the
wants a
end of
gate
it.
up on top, or a fence, or guardrails or something.
Yeah, they like something because when they have meetings, they're driving right through them. The insurance company's gonna be involved in it, so.
I mean.
We also could keep going with that as far as Bannister Hill. It is good to have another access to that around though. But we could also probably open that up again. It goes right to 7 up on top.
Open it
That
up
goes
where?
straight out, it doesn't go, I know it goes through the rescue squad parking lot.
Well, they kind of barricaded it off, but it used to go up and then go up around by Renters and up through.
Yeah, but that was before 7 went through.
Yeah,
Yeah. That was
That-
many years ago.
but that never went through that field, because I used to mow it.
Yeah, no, everybody used
No,
to
it
mow it.
just
No, no,
went
I know
straight
that.
up.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we used to walk
Bef-
up to Renters as kids.
Well, I mean, there has been people that had concern with it, as far as the rescue squad goes, but people going up and down there, and it's just, I mean, we use it too, when we.
Yeah, we do.
When we maintain
Park
it.
there,
We
yeah.
go up and turn around and go down the other way.
Well, we park equipment there, just
Yes, that's right.
over on the grass. Crystal told us it was all right, you know, to park on the grass with the stuff.
That's right.
No, we did ask. I mean, I asked again this year. I talked to her about it. Yeah.
But parking is not the liability, it's when they're having drills and stuff. People fly through there.
Well, it's up to you guys. Would you rather us not park there?
No, you guys can park there, it's
Oh,
just the idea of the
Okay. Because
cars running through there.
it's a fairly,
When you're parking, the drill don't make any difference, it's when they're having drills there with
Yeah.
patients playing out there in the blacktop and they flying through, it's
yeah,
a liability issue.
yeah.
And I'm just
Went
speaking for
there.
them because,
Do they have that much problems with people going through and around
they-
and down?
yeah. I think I'll just put some railroad ties across there and let it go with that. Because if you don't do something for 15 years, it's
Yeah,
automatic.
it's a right away. Huh.
So the plan is with these that you're mentioning for us to go look at them and then have a discussion, or is that what the plan is? Okay.
Well, we should
We
go.
still got some more though, right?
Well, I don't know. I kind
Well, I'm
of.
a little bit, one that comes to my mind, which I don't even know why it's there, is Purcell's.
But there's 2 houses up in there. I don't. Like I said, you know, we all read the literature on it. It depends how far. It's going to be a lot of work, and you're going to have somebody pretty sharp to come up with the reasons.
Where's Purcell Dudley? I don't know where.
Up
Across
across
the
from the racetrack.
Right across from the cemetery there, that road, the little road that goes up in there.
Just before the gravel.
He had a
pit
house
and
up there,
Going south.
and then he had a
from
garage they made into a place for somebody to stay when the racetrack was running. That's all that was. But
Why
I just
was-
couldn't understand why it ever was
Yeah.
a town road per se.
Yeah, I know.
Other ones, they did go somewhere into some property or something.
Yeah, you could see.
Yeah.
That
I
one.
was just curious about that.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't
That's the
In
know.
your
one
spare
with the
time,
houses up on
research
the
this
top of the
stuff, so we got some answers.
Well, that's what we're going to have to
Didn't there
do.
used to be, was there a rule, or am I dreaming this, that there had to be 3 houses on a road for it to be considered a town road, or is that just a,
No, 3, I think it has to be 3 houses to have it named for 911.
For a private road.
Well, see,
3 houses, 3 residents on
The
a
way I
road
understood it-
constitutes a private road.
I take Puttystone Road. They had quite a few houses up there. It was a private road. But then they appealed to the town, which just like Swallow Hill.
Yeah.
I mean, if them people appeal to the town, I mean, there's some nice homes up there. We do get some taxes and this
Yes.
and that.
Yes.
And also, it's,
They should have run the sewer up there.
they should have, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
That would have been, no pumps, no nothing,
Yeah.
just run it down.
Just
there
gravity
would've been more
down,
people on
yeah.
there,
Yeah.
would have been great. And I mean, like, Puttystone there for quite a while, they wanted that put on. I knew a selectman that was on, that was a long time ago. And, they went up and looked at it. One of them was one of your relatives. And they says, well, look, there isn't any gravel there. There wasn't. It was all ledge. I mean, if you want to bring it up to,
Yeah.
to some kind of a spec, yeah, it's all rock. How you gonna grade that or anything? And they did bring it up somewhat
Yeah.
to spec.
Yeah.
And that's why, like I say, Swallow Hill, I mean, if they, to me, I mean, it's, I know for sure it would benefit them people, but also, it's, we do get some real tax revenue
Yes.
from there.
Yeah, because there's
some
quite a
nice
few
homes there.
houses up there. Yeah.
And also, we have some property behind that,
We do, yeah.
quite a few acres in the woods there.
Yep.
But I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know what, But years ago, they didn't take and, I mean, places became a town road. There was one house on them. One.
Yeah, it depended who was on the board at the time. And,
That's it. Whatever.
Yeah, there was no
Furlong Road,
rhyme or reason.
There was
to-
only one house up there, the end of that road, forever.
Yeah.
Then finally, they did put some houses up there, which is, and of course, it's a town road.
Hemlock Hill Road. We have one house up on the end of it.
Yeah. And the complaint there is, which we'll have to talk about that, I guess, when you get tired. Look at, there's a lot of land there that borders that. Doesn't belong to that house,
Mm-hmm.
but there is.
Yeah, there's a
quite
camp out
Well,
back.
there's quite
yeah.
a bit of property there that could be sold or developed or whatever.
Yep.
That goes along that. There's a lot to that. And, I mean, I really don't know how to proceed, but
I don't either. And I think you gotta be careful that, especially if we have to, we have to hire an attorney or go to court or any of these. I mean, what's it gonna cost us? Is that,
It'd be cheaper than just maintain it, let it.
well, I mean, like a renter's driveway. I don't even think they care. I think
No, I wouldn't think they'd care.
that there could just be.
what if they wanna subdivide someday? What if they wanna maintain that ability to subdivide that lot?
Well, maybe so. I
It
don't
is
know.
a house lot. I mean, it's
But a lot of people
pre-existing.
taking, well, like old Lulu there out there on the cold storage road.
Yep.
She wanted to move. So did Harsh. They moved the road
Yeah,
at their expense.
Yeah.
Of course, we paid some of it for Harsh, but Lulu there, she moved hers.
Mm.
She
Comparison
paid
moving.
for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it benefited her. Because every time a car got down through there, it filled the house full of dust.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of these things, once they're on there, I think it's hard to get them off. But,
Some of them, Lavino Road, there hasn't really been anybody out in there for years.
I know, absolutely. And we got a bridge there.
Yeah,
Or
we got a
whatever you
big,
wanna call
yeah,
it.
I know.
got a
Culvert
headache,
bridge.
yeah, that's what you
And
got.
that's a big expense
I
to
know.
keep that thing going.
Yes, it
Could be.
is.
Anyway.
It's gonna be worse.
Yes, it is.
So what do we do?
I guess the first thing probably would be to, well, we were gonna take a ride and look at some of these. How big a deal is that? That ain't that big a deal. And then,
Is this the list?
of course, we should have a full
Recommended
board
list.
to talk
You
about it
done?
and figure out what we're doing.
Don't know.
You don't know.
But I'm sure that if you've got a town road on your property is worth more money. Due to listers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Has to
that's
be.
true. That is true.
yeah, that's
It's
true.
plowed and sanded, kept up.
Yeah, it costs them a little more in taxes, I think.
I would hope so. I mean, I wouldn't mind paying a little more in taxes if somebody maintained my driveway.
But I think didn't we talk to Barb and it really didn't amount to a whole lot?
I don't know, I didn't.
Yeah, I think we talked
We
about
did,
it.
I think we talked about it. It
Yeah.
wasn't
You're only
$58.
talking about, what, a little over 2 miles?
Yeah. But these are all roads that,
Well, why don't we plan to look at them and come back and have another discussion?
And then either, make up our mind, we've been dabbling with this thing for years.
Yeah,
Either, we're gonna do something or we ain't. And then if nothing comes up, well, we do nothing. If something does come up,
I think one of the things we could look at before we decide, when we're gonna go out and do it is maybe give us a rough idea what the conditions of the roads are. I mean, one of them, we just did a lot of work on it. Well, we did Lavina, we put a lot of money into that last
Yeah.
year.
you
And
put
Hemlock
some
Hill,
money, you did
but
that.
some to fix that.
Yeah, just, that wasn't.
And also,
Stabilized.
a couple of them roads, that's the reason why I brought up the one down there in the Dugway. I mean, crying out loud, the grader operator says you can't even bring the grader up through there. It ain't wide enough for the grader.
It's,
So I mean, it's really not a town road.
No,
It's a
I know.
driveway.
But I'm saying, we've got a number of roads that are like that.
you know,
Well, we got a few.
Well,
I know. We should go and look at them. Even if you
And
got,
also, the thing about it, if you look at them, as far as I'm concerned, and we're talking about that kind of stuff, like you take Royston Road up there. Well, they put some nice properties up there.
well, they,
So they're
yeah,
paying some taxes now.
I took
And,
that
but
off.
also, you got to
Yeah.
explain to people when they talk about, and same thing like with that Hemlock Brook. I mean, that woman come out there and told Baker to get out of here. That was her road. Get out. You couldn't turn the grader around. I mean, come on. We got to have something. If you are going to do anything with any of this stuff, you got to explain to these people: if it is a town road, we'll maintain it like a town road. We'll open it up enough so the grader can get down there without breaking the windows out of it, or whatever. Or like a truck knocks the mirrors off.
Yeah,
I mean,
we just threw some gravel up there actually and kind of built it up some and fixed it up a little. That we did Royson Road, because that was getting right down in the swamp.
yeah.
Built
I
it
ain't
up
got
with
nothing
bank
against, I ain't
run.
got anything against, but I mean, if we should explain this stuff to these people, well, look, we gotta, in order to maintain it, you can't send a plow down there if the thing is, the plow don't fit down the road.
If you can't.
You gotta
turn
have
it.
something, cut some brush out. I know when they were cutting brush, this was quite a while ago, Pudvar was the road boss. And the people up on Skiffery were crying about they had nice cars, and they were crying about getting them scratched with the brush. Pudvar went up there, started cutting brush, and the guy come out and told him, "You cutting one more limb off of this road, you'll be hearing from my attorney." Bob says, "I'm not arguing with that." He jumped in the truck and went back and did something else. See?
times have changed, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if they have or not. We'll
I
see.
think they have. We have an obligation now that's for a number of reasons.
okay, so what are we gonna do?
You wanna figure out when we can get together and take a ride? Jason's got a new limo we can all fit in.
I'm thinking in the. I mean, right now things are pretty busy in the summer. I mean, between vacation schedules and what we have going on right now. Maybe thinking about pushing it to fall. What do you guys think? Would it be beneficial for us to look at it when there's not a lot of vegetation? Would it be better, in the fall or maybe winter months?
I don't
That'd be an
think it
advantage,
really
or no?
matters.
Okay.
We all know what,
Okay.
you know.
Well, I don't think. I think that's the issue. We don't all know what they are. I mean, you.
But I mean, you gotta figure they're all narrow in width. It's just different.
I mean, I think there's a
Something-
lot of discussions to be had about our roads. I know Nelson brought up doing a lot more paving next
Paving,
year,
yeah.
maybe, borrowing some money. We've talked about some of the dirt roads that we have now, maybe doing some blacktopping on them, some of these developments. I think there's a lot to be discussed as far as roads go.
I'm trying
You
to
know,
talk them into a little more grant money, on these segmented roads, to bring them up. what better way to deter runoff and washout and blacktop them? You know, put a little more grant money into blacktopping
Speeds the
and
water
ditching and,
And they're slippery in the winter, the cows fall down,
yeah, that's true too.
get cracked pelvises and everything. I'm just telling you what people are gonna say, that's all. And it does speed the water up.
Yeah, it does.
It's like a flood project, you know, it speeds the water up.
But it runs off and it's gone.
Well, that's the
don't take
thing.
your
We
road
got-
with
We
you.
gotta get some shape to our roads. And now we're doing all this ditching and shaping and
But you know,
stuff.
we're also, you know, we're making 4,000 yards of gravel, and here it is, the beginning of July, and we're out of gravel already
Yeah.
this year. You know what I mean? We
Yeah,
used it.
well,
But we
you
were way
could
down.
easily,
We hadn't put no gravel on the
No, no, I
roads.
know, but I'm just
Long
saying.
time.
That's what I'm
even-
saying
but
right
we're
now,
We're eating
yeah,
up
you-
4,000 yards in 2
oh, in no
months,
time, yeah.
And
And we're
that's another
still,
thing we're gonna have to talk about next year is.
and we're still putting a little here and a little there, you know, just trying to build them up, or where we're getting down to the base of stone and,
But we had people that were, I mean, construction people that said, hey, you gotta put some material on the road. The road
I agree.
It's like a trench.
I agree.
It wasn't a highway, it was a trench.
Sure.
And then the water stays in it, for sure. It goes right
But-
down through. We put
but
a little
you,
dirt there.
you ride around. He did a good job grading this year. He's got a pretty good crown on him. There is a little bit of issues with Greater Ridge in places, but you look at the roads as a whole for what we've had for rain, and look at the towns around us and stuff. Our roads held up pretty good so
They have.
far. They really have.
A lot of it comes down to ditching.
Yeah, definitely. Most definitely. And you look where we've been ditching and stuff, and where it just took that water off, you know, where we had problems and
The new machine seems to be helpful.
working, yeah, way faster than,
Good.
yeah, way faster.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
and we will use it a lot for these grant projects where we can put back in so much an hour against them.
Well, why don't we put on the agenda for next week to see if we can come up with a date to tour the roads or something, Linda? Or another week or something. Whether it be September or
And I
whatever.
think you might sort of wait for a couple of months and let the summer get by. That's my opinion.
A lot of people are gonna
Everybody's
be on
got things
vacation
going.
this month,
you
aren't
know?
they?
Yeah.
Everybody
I agree.
is.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
going
No,
to
I'm
the
not
lake
saying
or
do it,
something.
I'm
Yeah,
saying
they're going
think of
there.
a date, maybe in September or whatever.
You're talking about probably a full evening.
I mean, it'd be
Yeah, it'll
nice
take
if
a
we,
while.
if
You
we're gonna
either do it
go,
on a Thursday or a special
the
meeting.
days are longer in the summer, you know, we don't, I mean, it's probably a lot shorter if you go in November, December.
Yeah, you won't,
Yep.
October you won't be able to, it'll change.
Or we don't have to do them all in one
No,
pass either. We can,
That's a lot of roads to look one night.
it's only 2 miles.
I know it, but they're all over town.
Yeah, but
Okay.
there'll be no runners
Okay.
and
All right, we should probably finish up on this.
let's move along.
Anything else under roads?
No,
Okay.
so we're okay with Stan doing the painting and,
I would, my suggestion is he would finish everything that needs to be done in this building right here. There was some touch-ups, so there's a couple spots that needed to be done in this building. Finish this up first.
They talk about the bell out front now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so,
And then from here, move over to the highway garage. And,
because he's willing to start Monday, so
yeah, I would say.
Yeah,
if you wanna give him the nod.
Start here. Do we have
Everybody
we have an
in
account
agreement?
at Sherwin-Williams or Different Strokes or one of those?
Probably Sherman Williams or,
All right.
yeah,
Okay.
we do it
Um,
Home Depot.
Home Depot.
yeah, I was
for
gonna
sure.
say, oh, pretty expensive places, maybe you ought to look at Home Depot.
Yeah, oh, we do have, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
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 There's gotta be some conservatism, you know?
So we're looking at this building first,
Yep,
and then from there we'll go over to the highway garage and do those buildings.
Yep.
Do some cleanup around the buildings here.
yep, yep.
Very good.
Okay,
Okay then.
Thank
thanks,
you.
Joel.
Thanks. Next is gonna be new business. First on the list, you two, is Barbara Burdick.
Hi, how are
Hey there,
you?
good, how are you?
I had talked to Bruce.
Come right to the table.
I had talked to a couple of people about this. I would like to propose a townwide tag sale for all of Pownal. The only issue I'm seeing with it is trying to find maybe a spot that people, I hate to say it, such as myself, that doesn't have a very big yard. Maybe there's an area that we could, I know there's no permits for vendor permits in Pownal.
I think that's what Nelson said last week.
Yeah, so I don't know if there may be an area where people that didn't have a big enough yard, or, you know, a group of people that wanted to gather together and have all their tag sales all in one area, if there's any area that we could possibly do that at.
At one day, you're thinking? Is
Just
that-
one day.
Just one day.
About the old entrance to the racetrack where we got the field down there.
That's what I
They're
was
not
thinking.
using that now, are
would
they?
be Perfect right there.
Yeah, but is
no.
that private property?
Not that I know, but I believe.
But
it's
we mow
private,
and take care of it, right?
Yeah, but it's for use, they let us use the ball
Use it
field.
for Little League. I don't know if they, I guess if
I don't know
you
if they'd
ask the
be-
guy
yeah.
that owns
You'd
it,
probably
solar
ask
or
him, right?
whatever.
You'd have to ask.
But I mean, that is private property there.
Yeah.
Who owns that property across the road from that? Where the pull-off is there.
But that I don't
I
know.
don't know. That's an awful blind spot when you come around the corner, though. They used to have,
Wow, it's
Junk
quite a ways
seals
from the
there.
corner.
I think
You mean
you're
across
talking,
from the
I think
ball
you're
field?
talking a considerable amount of space. So
Yeah,
you need-
across from the track
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
exit there.
well, some
entrance or-
people could also, if they wanted to, the way I was looking at it is getting people to sign up for it. If they wanted to have their tag sales advertised where they were gonna be located in the town of Pownal. Some could have it right on their properties, but there's also part of the community that doesn't have the yard to go and have a tag sale.
Sure.
And plus, trailer parks, I don't know how Brian Millard would feel about having all that traffic going after he just fixed the roads down there.
I don't know if you actually need our help with anything unless you were gonna do it on town property, and I don't think we want the liability for that. But maybe you should leave your name and number and let people contact you, and that's something that you can work out on your own.
Now,
If you wanna head it up or something, you know?
now, I also wanted to, I didn't know if this was at all possible, but I do know there was a gentleman that was hurt in a motorcycle accident. His name's Trevor Howard.
Mm-hmm.
With this townwide tag sale, I do know there's a couple of benefits that is trying to help his family out. If people wanted to, they could also donate $5 during this tag sale, and all the proceeds could be donated to his family to help with him.
You might wanna put that, if you're making posters or something, you might wanna put that on your poster, but.
I mean, the hard thing for us is we don't have a space, we don't have property or lands we could do, you know, that we could offer, you know what I mean? I think you're stuck with private property, having to get permission from somebody to use private property. That I know of anyhow, unless I'm wrong.
Do you have an email address or something that you wanna give and people could email you, and
I could give my email address, yes.
why don't you read it for the,
It's burdickbarb76@gmail.com.
Was that verdict,
Burdick Barbara, sorry,
Barbara?
76@gmail.com.
otherwise I don't know how we can help you.
So there's no area where I could have like a group of people, as long as they're picking everything up, you know, at the end of the day.
Do we have a recreation committee anymore?
Not really.
We have a committee that runs the summer program at the school.
Well, I was just wondering maybe, because I mean, some of these activities they have are done before long. Maybe if that, I don't know, it's not a thing that's gonna interest me, I'm not interested in that stuff.
Yeah.
But if it, you know, if you could have it like at one of these ball fields or something, if you ask them, I don't know about the insurance deal, but I'm sure we got insurance for everything. I mean, nobody seems concerned about insurance, you know? I don't know. And I mean, if it's well, it's like everything else. If
I
it's
think,
well
I think you
run,
can
well done.
purchase like liability insurance for just a specific event.
That's how it works. See, I don't know anything about it.
It's not cheap.
Yeah, I don't know what it costs, but, you could look into it.
That's why I was saying maybe if the, because they have events, the recreation people, and some of these events are over with. Maybe one of them places would be open, where you could, I don't know how big a spot you need either. I mean, I don't
Well,
know
that's the
what you
thing
need.
is that a lot of people in Pownal can have it right on their property. But there's gonna be issues with the smaller community that live in trailer parks, They don't know, we don't really have a lot of property or land down there. And plus, like I said, I don't know how the park managers and park owners would feel about having all the traffic going in and out all day long,
I think it might be advisable to speak with Steven Solar at the
Yeah, why
racetrack.
don't you ask him?
There's a
Get ahold of
large
him.
parking lot area there, maybe you can work out something
He
there.
seems pretty, well, he's had other things down there.
Is there any way you can give me his number?
If you wanna come see me tomorrow, if you could,
Okay,
I can try to get you the information you need for contact.
okay. That sounds
It's
good.
the only thing that I can think of that might help.
This
You
was
know,
also.
he may negotiate a fee for this,
Yeah.
but, you could work it out, probably.
Well, the thing is I was also thinking about this so that way the whole community could get
Mhm.
involved into something,
Mhm.
and plus get rid of things that
Mm-hmm.
they've collected over the years,
Sure.
such as myself.
Sure.
But it would be a community event, so,
Okay, I think maybe you could start there.
okay. All right,
Terrific.
all right, thank you.
Great.
All right.
Good luck with it.
Thank you.
Okay, next on our agenda is Jeremiah, in regards to cemetery tree work.
The grass is growing like crazy. The vegetation is growing like crazy too. The trees are growing, branches are growing.
All this rain.
Yeah. Last year we did some work in the cemetery. We picked up a lot of gravestones. We set it upright. Then we cut down some trees that didn't belong in the cemetery, like the sapling, stuff that just grew. We cut the vegetation around the cemetery that was creeping on in. This year I'm asking if we can do the same amount of work to cut back the vegetation, to trim some branches, so we don't have to chop with the mower. And to cut down some of the trees that doesn't belong in the cemetery. We cut down a lot of them last year, and we just have a few left this year. I'm just trying to pick at it little by little. And then a couple gravestones that got tipped over during the winter because of the frost. So, I estimated cleaning equipment and the amount of work that's probably around $1,500 worth. The cemetery, the racetrack cemetery, 346 cemetery, Jackson Crossroads.
Here's some pictures of
Yeah.
his son.
Oh.
Yeah, I was
Is there
wondering
anybody
if
in
the
charge of
board-
those cemeteries?
You didn't get one in your
No,
phone?
No, I didn't
they're
get one.
town cemeteries. No, I just
Yeah,
printed
but-
one for the board because they're using
Oh.
the color.
Somebody must be in charge of them. Somebody determines.
We
what-
are,
We are.
we are, you
They're
are.
town.
I
Yeah,
thought
well-
Jellies was in charge of the one on 346. He used to be. Who's got it now?
Big Brown.
As far as,
Big Brown.
Lots
You can't
would
even
be-
die in this in North Carolina without going through a Big Brown.
The thing is, the way I look at it is, I see that it seems like for years all we've done is just mowed and trimmed.
That's right,
We
I
haven't
agree.
really done a lot of,
Right.
I know last year you stood up some stones, really neaten things up. We've done a lot of topsoil in the
Right.
last year. I think we should do a little bit each year, as far as, be a little bit more than just mowing and trimming. We have an obligation to take care of these
Right, I agree.
cemeteries.
You need us? Yeah, you did a lot for us last year and did a great job, so.
Not to mention, there's some, shrub, I think the North Pownal Road one, and we got some big shrub, I need to be trimmed up a little bit. They're getting a little too oversized. That's another thing too.
What do you think, guys?
Especially, people that the vegetation on the cemetery really creeps in, with the picket bushes and stuff, and it takes over pretty quick.
Yeah. Especially this year. I know my yard and all over the place is crazy.
Some of these trees are pretty good size, so. You think you can take them down without breaking the stones?
Yeah, well, we did a lot of them last year. We shot them down and threw them in the woods.
It's not taking the whole tree.
We're not
Taking the
taking
whole
whole
tree.
trees, we're trimming them.
It just
Oh, I thought you were gonna take them trees down
No.
next to the grave.
No.
no.
Okay.
Oh, no,
Trimming
no.
branches.
I misunderstood, I'm sorry.
That one there is just the lower hanging branches.
Okay,
Just
oh,
so
Low
low.
blade. The low
misunderstood what you were saying. That's fine with me.
I see there's some dead ones and stuff that are growing right up, well, between the stones and everything. They're kinda nasty.
I think you did a good job last year, and I
Right.
make a motion that we approve it.
Second,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
To approve up to 1,500 or?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, he
He
said
said
if
if he
there's
can
any
do it
more,
less,
he'd be
he
talking
will,
to us.
and
Yeah,
he's a good, honest guy. He treats us well.
Well,
yeah.
we'll keep an
He
eye
does.
on you just the same.
Does a good job for us.
Yes, he does, he's very honest.
We'll send Ronnie, we send Ronnie down to check on you.
That's right.
Okay.
I keep an eye on you.
Thank you. All right,
Alrighty.
thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeremiah.
Take care. Okay. Next on our list is town clerk issue, discussion. Then we have pay raises. I think both of those we're gonna be looking at. One executive on,
Okay.
right or wrong. And the last one would be the town administrator job description.
I can do that real quick if you wanna do that and get it over with before we go
Would
into.
that work for you guys if we do the old business now and then we do the legal? You guys good with that?
I don't care.
Ronnie, you alright with that?
Yeah, that's all right.
Okay. So our next item is the town administrator job description
All right.
discussion.
I'll be real quick. I know we had, David come down from Shasberry, who we had lots of questions for. And I guess we're thinking about what our next step would be. And I think we need to discuss it to see what we wanna do. But if we want to proceed, probably the next step would be coming up with our own job description. And because we like David so well, I called Shasberry today and I got a copy of his job description. And I made a little draft of, it says draft, you can pass those down. And this is just for us to scribble all over, add to, tear apart, do whatever we want with it. But I simply took his job description, copied it, made it a draft. And basically these things, these bullet points in between are what we're talking about as far as job description. And I think maybe we should take some time, look at it, and come back at another meeting and decide what we want to keep, what we don't think we want to keep. I think it's just a starting point for us. That's my thought, but I'm open to whatever you guys want to do. And I do have copies of the other job descriptions from other towns too. But
Well, I think it's something we need to continue moving along with
Mhm.
and discussing.
I know people in town have said to me, what's going on with that? Why haven't we done anything with it? Why are we letting things fall by the wayside? And I said, we're not letting things fall by the wayside. There's a process and we need to come up with the next step.
Do we have a payroll idea on this?
I think we have an idea, but we have to decide whether we want full-time or part-time even. We're really in the beginning stages, Bruce. We're
Okay.
really, you know, this is all new to us. We need to decide what we want.
Yeah, it's new to me. I just
Yep.
curious more than anything.
Yep, we did a vote on it and they approved us to hire somebody and we've brought people down to talk to us about what other towns do.
So it's an option whether we go full-time or part-time
Yep.
right now.
Yep, everything's open.
Yeah.
We had a
Right now.
town meeting 2 years ago on it. It should be on YouTube if you want to look it up.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You'll see it was at school.
I was there.
Oh, you were there?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I basically just thought, you know what, it's a starting point. I'll come up with this draft, we can scribble on it, tear it apart, add to it, throw it away and start over, I don't care. But I thought I'd pass it out and then we can table it for another time.
Very good.
Unless you want to discuss it now, that's up to you guys.
Well, I think it's something to start with.
Mhm.
And we can make some notes. We can make some comments, like you said. Maybe we can talk about it next week's
A
meeting.
lot of good
also.
ideas.
And move it, you know,
Yeah,
maybe
and
spend
it-
a few minutes each meeting and talk
And
about
it's
it.
basically, here, I'll give you Shasberry's, it's basically the same thing. And I thought we'd start there and move along. Got one for Linda there too.
Yeah.
Okay,
Very good.
I'm done unless somebody's got something
Okay.
else.
So our next two items are raises and town clerk.
Make a motion, we go into executive session to talk about legal and raises.
Okay. So do we want to do raises first, and then we can come out of executive session and
You
then
should do
better
Julie
do
first.
town
Okay,
clerk
okay.
first.
Just do
so I can go
one
back to work.
executive session at a time.
Okay, well, that's what I'm saying, we'd split it up in two,
Which
okay,
one do you
however
wanna
we
do
do it.
first? Okay, do Julie first.
That's-
Okay,
Um,
good. So we have a motion?
Second.
No, do we have a motion to go into executive?
just-
Oh, you did. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're gonna bring this meeting back into
I make a
Session
motion
here.
to come out of executive session.
at 8:55.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Me again?
Yep.
I make a motion that we contact our town's attorney to talk about a legal issue. And
Second.
whether it be a special meeting or whatever, but we have some issues that the full board needs to talk to the attorney about.
Who's gonna contact the attorney?
I think I don't know. Linda, can you do that?
Who's second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So moved.
Do we want it to be a special meeting or just a regular meeting?
How about let me check to see what the town's attorney's schedule is and try to work around it.
Is everybody in agreement to?
If we need a special, we'll do a special, otherwise,
I think Ronnie mentioned if he couldn't come here, we could go to him.
Yes, as long as we can meet with, and get
You got
legal
vacation
advice,
coming
that's
up.
what we want.
Next week.
Next week. You?
I'm
No.
across the street, I can walk over.
Yeah. You? You ain't going on vacation.
I ain't going nowhere.
So he's the only one we gotta worry. How about Nelson?
Nelson's sick.
Yeah, but he hasn't got a vacation. Has he gone?
I don't know.
Well, it'd be nice if everybody was there, so everybody
Yeah,
knows.
yeah.
we have to make sure everybody would be able to be able.
Yeah, I
Next
think we
week
should
or
make sure
as
that
soon
we
as
have the full
possible.
board.
Yeah, next week I'd be gone. That's no problem.
Next week you're gone?
yeah.
So 2
July.
weeks.
Okay.
July 20, I think that is.
Yep.
Yeah, and you're leaving soon too, so.
14th. See ya.
Alright. How come you got August calendar open over there anyway? I keep looking at
Because it's July and August, it's a
Yeah, you can't
2-month.
see the July part.
Oh,
So the next Thursday would be
She don't have to
third.
be there
Are
for
we
the
still on
legal
the air?
anyhow.
Third.
Are we still on the air?
Yeah.
You're not live, but I am just recording, just for
Okay.
playback.
Yep. So about that first week of August?
Which is
Monday night, I'm
August.
available on Monday night. if
Because I
anybody
saw it
else-
in writing.
So now we need a motion to adjourn, or do we?
No,
Mr. George.
you've got another matter that
We
you're gonna
got
go back
another
into
executive
Motion to
session.
go into executive for pay raises.
Oh,
And
okay,
then you're gonna be done.
okay.
I'll entertain a motion to go into executive.
Second?
Someone has to make the motion.
Make the
Yeah.
motion. I make the
Yes,
motion,
I'm
we
like,
go in
did
and
I miss
talk about
something?
pay raises.
I thought he
Thank
made it.
you. No,
entertaining
he
it.
said
I'm
you'd
asking.
entertain
I'm
it.
asking for a motion.
Sorry, I'm sleeping.
You need hearing aids.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.